demystifying the myth around Statutory Instrument 64 of 2016, which was pronounced around the 17th of June to support the local industry by working to reduce our import bill, and also working to ensure that the local industry gets the necessary support in terms of competition with cheap imports that have been coming through from various geographical locations of the world, some from China, some from South Africa, and generally from the region. So the government is acted from after industry made some representations to the effect that the industry needed to be supported through policy, and also the policy environment needed to be friendly towards supporting industrialization, which is not only a Zimbabwean thrust when we speak about industrialization, but it is a thrust for the whole region, for the whole COMESA region, for the whole SADC region, and for the whole continent through the AU. Remember, the heads of state actually met here in Harare at the Harare International Conference Center just to look at the issue of industrialization. So it is quite topical, not only to Zimbabwe, it is quite critical, not only to Zimbabwe. And also, remember, after the pronouncements by the government of Statutory Instrument 64, we had some demonstrations, for example, from South African businesses and various other dissenting voices which were against the Statutory Instrument. So we are saying, we are Zimbabweans, and we've got a democratically elected government which has got a mandate to work for the people, and is certainly doing that by ensuring that the policy environment is quite favorable to business and other issues that were also addressed by this breakfast meeting. We, other than having the more to the Minister of Industry and Commerce, Comrade Honorable Mike Bima, we also had the Reserve Bank Governor, interrogating and updating the nation on the recently pronounced measures which we're seeking and will continue to seek to improve the liquidity environment. Remember, we were faced with a serious cash crunch and a liquidity crunch, and we also had issues to do with a shortage of cash, and also issues to do with delays in payments of imports of critical high priority goods like fuel and crude oil. Those have been issues that were also addressed by the governor, and he was also quick to point out that the Statutory Instrument is not a ban, it's actually a supportive measure, which the RBZ is also quite happy, because it is addressing the economic fundamentals of this economy. One of the key economic fundamentals which has to be addressed by this economy is production. We need to produce, and when we produce, then we can then speak about competitiveness and other issues to do with productivity. You cannot talk about productivity when you have not produced. So it is critical that you produce first, and then you then improve your efficiencies, you improve your productivity, you also work on your competitiveness. And of course, the issues to do with ease of doing business, this has been elevated to the office of the Vice President, and he is looking at those ones, and he has had various platforms where he is also interrogating such issues to see how they can be an improvement in terms of ease of doing business. Look at all the cost drivers, put them together, and see in terms of priorities which ones can be worked on first in terms of giving them a priority according to their impact to the general production processes.